Welcome to the Inside Maumee Athletics podcast, where we bring you the pulse of the Panthers athletic scenes.
I'm your host, Jeremy Schneider. Thanks for tuning in. We're continuing our look at the winter sports at Maumee with a conversation with new boys basketball coach TJ Gillespie. He comes to lead the program after having success at Emmanuel Christian and Southview. Gillespie also played at St. John's Jesuit and Mount Union University before playing overseas. The Panthers returned tons of talent from last year's team, so hopes are riding high for this season. Just like last week, we're skipping our Panthers Rewind this week to take a closer look into the Maumee boys basketball program. The Panthers finished last season with a 5-18 record overall and a 2-12 mark in the Northern Buckeye Conference. It was a tough season all around as Maumee was outscored in each game 63-49 on average. The Panthers started last season with next to nothing in the way of varsity experience, and the lack of seasoning showed throughout the season. However, by the end of it, Ben Kubitz and Will Kubitz worked their way onto the Northern Buckeye Conference and District 7 All-Star teams. About a month after the season, head coach Ryan Ozier announced he was stepping away from the program. In 7 years under Ozier, the Panthers went 36-14. Now they had to find a new head coach. And in mid-April, Maumee announced it had found that guy, TJ Gillespie. He came to the Panthers after a stint as the JV coach at Southview, and he'd also served as the interim coach at Emmanuel Christian, coaching stars such as Jerry Easter. Gillespie wasted little time making his mark on the program, stepping up to host a summer league when plans fell through for a different school to host. He's also been visible at a lot of Panthers events this year, even reffing the Powder Puff game in October. In addition to the Kubitz twins, the Panthers will look to rely on the experience and leadership of guys like Michael Kiss, Parker Richardson, Lucas Polkinghorn, Abram Sutherland, and Eli Dotson. And the program got a somewhat unexpected surprise this year when senior Carson Grace returned after not playing a year ago. Maumee opens the season on Saturday, November 30th, when it hosts Toledo Christian before heading into the teeth of the NBC schedule. Gillespie thinks his team has what it takes to contend for an NBC title, and if we've learned anything over the last few years, it's you don't count out a Maumee team in the NBC. Our guest this week is in his first season coaching at Maumee. He comes to the boys basketball program with an impressive coaching and playing resume, and hopes are running high that he can translate that to an experienced and talented Panthers roster. He took time out of getting his team ready for the season to sit down with the podcast. Here's our chat with TJ Gillespie. So this is your first year at Maumee. What was it about the job, what was it about the program that you saw from the outside maybe that kind of made you say, this looks interesting, I think I'm going to go for this one? What was it about this program, this job?
So the opportunity presented itself. I didn't know anyone at Maumee. I didn't know too much about Maumee, but we did scrimmage Maumee early on last year. I know they had some young pieces, and I thought it would be a great fit for myself. Very tight-knit community, very family-oriented. That's how I was raised, and I am today.
When the team came in last year, there wasn't a lot of it. There was no experience coming back from the varsity level. Now you've got some guys who have suffered through some of those bumps and bruises. How has that changed them, do you think? How has that changed the varsity program?
I think that's necessary for any program. You have to go through your bumps and bruises before you can succeed. I think Coach Ozier did a great job, establishing that foundation. And now it's my job to continue on what he's done, and then help these guys that have been through those bumps and bruises change their mindset a little bit to now it's the next step. Now we've learned, now we've seen, now let's execute and try to push forward for a little bit more success than we had the last year.
You mentioned mindset, and this is something I bring up with a lot of people, is winning isn't something you just do. It's something you kind of have to learn how to do.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, we haven't done a lot of winning in the boys basketball program in the last couple of years. Have you seen the guys be a little – have you seen a little bit of a mentality with them that reflects that, or are they ready to win? Do you think they're ready to go? How do you play with their mindset, and where's their mindset at now?
I think it's been a process. So when I first took over the job, I was heavily involved with just training our boys. So I wanted to get any and whoever could get in, anybody and whoever could come, I wanted to get those guys in the gym. I know we have a lot of guys that we share multiple sports with, so I know a lot of our guys weren't available, but the guys that were there, like Owen Kennedy, Mike Kiss, those guys were involved with our summer program and preseason program. So that started the process of kind of changing the mindset. Once we were able to get our summer league, we hosted a summer league this year. We got to play some really, really good competition. We were able to talk through that process. So where we were June 1st compared to June 30th was completely different.
Right.
And I think that mind shift started at that time because the first game we weren't doing really well. By the end of the summer league, we were winning, which was a big deal, and it felt good. And I'm like, this is why we work. This feels really good. Everyone agreed, and I think that mindset combined with football guys coming up to be a part of the team, and they've started winning, so they have a winning mindset. They're hungry. They know what it takes to win now. I think combined with those things, I think we're in the right direction as far as a winning mindset.
You bring up football, and I'll bring up soccer as well, because soccer's had a great season. I know you've got some of those same athletes coming over onto the basketball team, but just in general, with that in mind, but also just the atmosphere, the environment with the athletic programs. How do you, as a basketball coach, try to use that atmosphere, that expectation, that environment, and bleed that into basketball and use some of that motivation?
Yeah. So our motto this year is on the hunt. So we're on the hunt for our respect. We're on the hunt for our program to be a program that is seen as successful, that people want to be a part of, that kids want to be a part of. So, I think that the winning tradition that is starting again in the Maumee culture, perfect time for me to come around.
Right.
Because, it's less of, I have to speak on that less because it's already set. The standard is there with the other sports. And, shout out to those coaches because they've changed this thing around. Shout out to Cam Kuchar. He's done a tremendous job hiring and then also making changes to the programs so that we can be successful. He's been giving me his full support. So that's been awesome to see. I think that, the longer that we can continue to be on the same page as a group of coaches, as an athletic department, I think that the sky is the limit.
How has that support been from Cam and from the other coaches? Have you been able to kind of pick some of their brains? Even if they're different sports, maybe just about Maumee and these students and the atmosphere of the high school. Have you been able to use that? And how has the support been from other coaches and from Cam?
The support has been great. It's been love from not only the coaches, but fans and the community. I really have felt embraced since I've been here. Cam has been terrific. I probably bother him more than he likes, but we're constantly texting or on the phone just because, this is my first go around as an official head coach of an entire program. So I've took over programs in the past, but, from start to finish, this will be, my first year doing this. So I have a lot of questions, and he's been there for me. Outside of that, the coaches I have talked to here and there, we've had a few coaches meeting, but I know Evan is doing his thing and he's doing really, really well. I've been able to watch from a distance, but since I've been here, he's been pretty much in season. So I've given him the space to do what he needs to do and kind of stay out of his way, but make sure that I'm watching because what he's done has been tremendous. One
thing I've noticed about you is, and I've it's not just me, I've had other people mention it as well, is how involved you've been just in things not basketball related. I see you all. If I'm here at an athletic event, chances are I'm seeing TJ as well. It's been really awesome to see that. Has that been? Obviously that's been intentional.
Yes.
Just about getting involved in the community?
Absolutely. So I think that's very important. I think I need to be seen. I think people need to understand who we are as not just myself, but as a staff. So we've been at a lot of football games, different Maumee events, just trying to make sure that people understand that we're here and this is where we're going to be. I think that the community needs to see that, and the more we come together, the better we'll be.
The Mirror newspaper has been a supporter of IMA from the very beginning. If quality journalism is important to you, please consider becoming a subscriber. You can head to their website at themirrornewspaper.com to find more information on becoming a traditional print or digital subscriber. You are a Lucas County guy, Toledo guy. Went to St. John's. You've coached at Emmanuel Christian. You've coached at Southview. You know basketball in this area, in Northwest Ohio in general.
Absolutely.
How does that help you in this current job, whether it's setting up games against non-league opponents or just being able to know basketball in this area? How much does that help you here as the head coach at Maumee?
I think it's helped me a lot, just the experience to be around. I've been able to coach against and learn from a lot of coaches in the area. I've been able to train the youth, anywhere from boys and girls from second grade to I have a couple pros that I've trained, even in Maumee High School. So I think just knowing the landscape, understanding what's out there, that kind of helps me prepare for our season, what we need to do, even things strategically, offense and defense, what guys are running out there, what coaches are running, what type of systems are out there. I think it helps me build in my team a strategy for us to move forward on and off the court.
You mentioned it a little bit earlier about this is your first time taking over a program from the beginning, But when you were at Emmanuel, you guys won the TAAC championship.
Yes.
You're 1 year there.
Yes.
Can you talk about that experience and how that was? And I mean, this may be your first time really coaching, but you're already a championship level coach.
Yes.
How was that experience?
It was a interesting experience to say. I got the job in a way that I wouldn't want to, but it was a lot that happened that year. Shout out to Lionel Armstead because he trusted me to take over the program when he couldn't continue. The coach at Clay right now, but yeah, it was an interesting year. It was a fun year for the most part. I had a really, really, really good team. I don't feel like I had to do too much. I just had to make sure the guys were ready to go. We had players like Tylen Davis over at Whitmer now. We had Jerry Easter, who's a top guy in the country. We had Jamie Rivers, who's playing college basketball now. So I had some really good talent. Team came together and we were able to win some games.
What's it like coaching talent like that? I mean, you say those three names, especially. I mean, everybody. You don't even have to be a basketball fan, and everybody knows Jerry Easter.
Absolutely.
What's it like coaching talent like that?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different, especially in that situation, being my first go-around. Sometimes as a coach, you want to be so strategically sound. You want to be so prepared that you kind of can overcoach. And sometimes when I look back, I think that talent like that, sometimes you just have to let them go. We definitely had an open play style, but it was times where I think that I could have just set back a little bit more and let those guys go. I mean, that talent there, just have that on one team and one program was amazing. And, that's why I think we under succeeded a little bit, just because we had the talent and we weren't able to finish it off at the end.
I think basketball is unique. You mentioned it there, that overcoaching and just sometimes letting the talent do what the talent needs to do. I don't think you find that in other sports. That's a learning process for you. So how did that season with that help you learn to become a better coach?
Oh, that was probably the biggest learning season of my coaching career for sure. It was just so many ups and downs with things not only on the floor but outside of basketball that we were dealing with at the time. But, it helped me understand from a strategic standpoint, when you do have those guys, sometimes you really do have to just let them go. Just put them in positions where they're comfortable, and they're confident, and then they go out and do what you're saying. So my next year when I was at Southview, I had a kid named Adam LaPla, who is probably, I don't know if he is star for Southview this year, but he'll be one of the main guys. Yeah. And he was really good at the JV level. And I was able to learn from that experience with having those the Jerrys and the Tylens and the Jamies. I kind of just let him go. So get him in positions where he can get downhill, and he had a hell of a season.
I wish we did, but I don't think at Maumee we have any Jerry's, Tylands, or Jamie's right now, at least. Right now, at least.
Working on it.
Working, exactly. That's everybody's goal. But I do think we have some guys like the Kubitz twins, like Eli Dotson, kids like that who can kind of create a little bit. Have you found that from them, and are you able to use some of those lessons into this specific Maumee team?
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned those guys because those are the main football guys as well.
Yeah.
You know, so we haven't really had a lot of experience with those guys in the summer and preseason. Eli did spend a lot of time with us in the summer. Outside of that, I really didn't know what we had outside of watching film from last year. It's different, you know, watching film compared to being on the sidelines or being on the floor with these guys. So, yes, I've been pleasantly surprised by, you know, some of the football guys that we have and some of the basketball-only guys as well, that we can get downhill, we can score, and the most important thing is defend. We have athletes, so we're able to defend at a high level as we've seen so far in our preseason. I think that the athleticism is kind of crazy at Maumee, and that's due to some of the other sports with soccer, football. Those guys, working out and competing at a high level is going to transfer to basketball, and it's been a pleasant surprise for sure.
So not only are you a coach, but you're a coach who's done it before. Standout career at St. John's, standout career at Mount Union. You played overseas as a player. Can you run me through some of your best memories as a player? Maybe some things that stand out to you, whether it's games or experiences or people you were able to meet. What are some of your best memories from your playing days?
Just being with the guys.
Yeah.
It's nothing like being in the locker room. I think that's kind of what has gotten me so interested into coaching itself. Just kind of missing the guys, missing the locker room, missing the trips. A couple memorable experiences. My junior year, we went to the Final Four, Division I at St. John's. Got to play at Ohio State on their floor. My senior year, we went to the regional finals and lost to the soon-to-be state champions in Massillon Jackson. Ironically, Massillon Jackson's Coach Fewline, ended up being my coach my sophomore year at Mount Union.
Okay.
And he's still there today. Shout out to Coach Fewline. I always tell people I had to hear about the state championship run so many times on recruiting visits from kids coming in, and it was annoying. But if it was me, I would have been on the other side of that as well and bragging about it. But high school, those two memories stick out. College, when I got there, we really weren't that good as a program.
Okay.
By the time I left, we had won our first conference championship in 17 years.
Oh, wow.
And now the program isn't at an elite level, always ranked in the top 25. Actually just lost in the national championship on a buzzer beater that was very controversial, I should say.
Okay.
But yeah, so that those experiences, and then going to play in Europe. I got a chance to play in Paris. I got a chance to play in London, Belgium, and Amsterdam. So yeah, that was a experience I'll never forget. That was probably number one, just being able to see the different cultures, playing against guys at a high level. It's nothing like being at the top of the Eiffel Tower, having that experience. So we did a lot of sightseeing while I was there. But yeah, it was awesome. I'm blessed to be able to play for so long and then kind of share my experiences with the guys and kind of help mold them, if that's what they want to do. If they want to play college basketball, I kind of have a blueprint of what it takes to get there, because I wasn't a super athletic guy. I wasn't jumping out the gym or anything, but I had great coaches and I stayed in the gym with great trainers, and then also I had teammates that at St. John's is a high standard. You have to be able to stay. You have to stay in the gym to be on the floor. Play for the great coach Ed Heinchel, and he has so many Division I guys, so many pros that were under his belt. So learning from him helped a lot as well. But yeah, those experiences, something I can share with my boys, and hopefully they'll be able to experience some of those things themselves.
So you talk about Mount Union and the journey that program took. Sounds kind of familiar maybe to what we're going to be doing
Absolutely.
Here. I guess just talk about that journey. Talk about the work what did it take to get Mount Union from being kind of an afterthought as a program to now it's where it is.
Yeah, hard work. We had a couple guys that came in with Coach Feuline, so they came in my sophomore year. We had a couple really good recruits that Coach Feuline could bring in. That helped because now we have talent connected with hard work. So we all stayed in the gym. We are a really close, tight-knit family. We're still close to this day. I actually work with a couple of my teammates currently at the same company. So, I think that family atmosphere was the number one thing that got us over the hump because we did everything together. Every weekend we're together. During the school week, if we weren't, doing our work or in practice, we were together. So I think that's what I'm trying to bring here is that family atmosphere. And, once we connect on all levels, then I think that we can move forward as a team and start winning some games.
So you mentioned being recruited as a college athlete. Obviously it's going to be easy for guys like Jerry Easter,
absolutely,
guys like that to get the attention of the college coaches, but those guys are few and far between. Most of the guys who go off to college, they've got to put the work in to get recognized. What type of work, if you're talking to a high school kid currently, what do they need to do from your experience to get the attention of those college coaches to get on those radars?
So I took a kind of an unorthodox route. I wasn't heavily recruited. At St. John's, we were really so good. All 5 guys, probably 7 or 8 deep, played college sports, not just basketball, but football. So I got to kind of see those guys go through a recruiting process, like guys like Jack Muhort, who had Jim Tressel literally in our school, a couple times while I was there.
That's wild.
Just to visit him, and he left early for spring. And then I had guys like Tim Kennard, who played at Illinois, and Cheatham Norrells, who was heavily recruited. So I had a lot of guys around me that were heavily recruited, and I wasn't. So what I had to do was stay in the gym. Shout out again to Lionel Armstead. He spent a lot of time with me, showing me how to work out, showing me how to take that next step. So it's a lot of we spent time in the gym, obviously, shooting, but also lifting, track workouts, hill workouts. We were doing pool workouts to help with our body ligaments and joints and those things. Shout out to Bubby Corgans as well. He is a trainer in the area, and he really helped shape my body as far as, getting in the weight room. He kind of helped me understand, he's trained guys like Jimmy Jackson, all the way from back then to now, guys that are playing professionally at this time. So I think the most important thing is staying consistent, staying in the gym, perfecting your craft, and then the thing that people don't think about is your body. You have to take care of your body. I was a guy who didn't for a long time, and I was injured a lot, and that hurt my career. So I'm trying to mold these guys into understanding that you have to stay in the gym. You have to take care of your body. And that's not just lifting, but that's eating right. That's making sure you drink water, stay hydrated. And then, like I was saying, I had to send my film out. I wasn't a high recruit. So I'm telling guys like Carson Grace now, who is trying to go to school. He actually missed a scrimmage so he could go to a college visit. Okay. And as a high school coach, this is bigger than just us. So this is not about us. It's about these guys. So helping them, with little nuggets like that. I was talking to Carson this past weekend. I'm like, it's time to get your film out. If that's what you really want to do, you have to kind of be on the offense and not just wait, especially at this time because it's so hard to get recruited out of high school. I would say this is the worst time to be a high school athlete trying to go to college to play sports because we have so many different factors that you have to deal with, like the transfer portal, JUCO, prep, and so high school student is kind of like the last guy to get recruited in the process now. So it takes a little longer to sign unless you're the top guys. But, getting your film out there, making sure you're staying on the radar, is really, really important at this time.
It's interesting you mentioned the transfer portal because I think everybody only thinks about that like Will Howard coming to Ohio State, or Quinshon Judkins coming to Ohio State.
Absolutely.
But it's at every level.
Yes.
So I guess I didn't put that together. How that can affect a high school athlete as well. There's a lot of factors. You're right.
Yes, there is, and the first thing is first. I've been told this is the breakdown of recruiting now. college coaches have to recruit their own players first, because there's so many guys that are jumping in the transfer portal. I believe this summer at one point it was over 1,200 student athletes in the transfer portal. I mean, that's just bananas. So, they have to recruit their own guys first. Then they go to the portal. Then they may go to JUCO, prep, then high school. So there's layers to this where, now guys, like a guy like Micah Bays at Southview, I think he is a Division I guy.
Oh, yeah.
But because of the recruiting process, he's had to go to Lake Erie, which Lake Erie is a great school.
Sure.
But I know that's not where he initially thought he would be.
Yeah.
And I think it's due to the way that everybody is recruited now. So the name of the game now is get in school, get some film, and then go somewhere else. So that in itself just makes your job, your life so much harder, because you have so many guys that are doing the same thing, trying to get the attention of bigger schools and, trying to get on those campuses. So it's a difficult time to be a student athlete.
We're extremely lucky to have the pride of the Panthers helping us make memories for our students. There aren't many communities or schools who have a group of talented photographers at almost all of our kids' events and games. You can follow them on Facebook by searching Pride of the Panthers. We'll take a look at this season coming up now, because that's what everybody's excited for, opening up here in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
I know you guys have put a lot of work into the season, specifically a guy like Michael Kiss, senior. He has something that not a lot of people have, and that's 6'7". He's a big dude.
He is.
Can you talk about the work he's put in since you've gotten here, and just where he's started and where you see him right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike has gotten so much better in the short time that we've been here. I'm so proud of the dedication he's had. He's showing up, and it was kind of a mix. So you have to kind of let him enjoy his senior year, but also understand that this is his last go around, and it's now or never. And we had a really good conversation early on when I got the job. Took him to breakfast and just kind of wanted to understand where his head was. So do you want to be a college basketball player? What do you want next? And he wasn't totally sure, but he wanted me to push him in that direction. So that's what we've done. I've sent him to a few camps that he was able to go and showcase his skills. But, now Mike is a threat for us, and that's what we wanted. When I got here, a kid that size, just thought he just needed a little polishing up, someone to spend some time with him. And shout out to one of my varsity assistant coaches, Coach Tia Crape. She played at Springfield and also at Defiance, and it was a big, and she spent countless days with him. We do a lot of guard and big breakdowns, so he's getting really, really good attention, one-on-one, or, maybe a couple guys like Silas Doolittle, Brock Hurd or Abram Sutherland, our bigs, Lucas Pokenhorn, that are showing up and getting better. But I think those guys are helping to push Mike. But I think that Mike wants to be good. I can see him having a really, really big year this year, and we look forward to it. He's got to be such a key part to the team, because you have really good guard play. Yes.
It's proven with the Twins, with Eli, with kids like that. But just him having that threat on the inside, even if all he does is get 7 assists in a game. Yeah. I mean that's great, that inside out game. Yep. So I guess talk about that aspect of it, of just getting him to be a focal point in the offense, because I don't know that he's ever been a focal point in the offense. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's been a focal point, but he will be for us. We need him to be a threat because our guards are so good. We can't let teams just sit back and guard those guys without having that 6'7" body down there in the paint. And he's sprinting the floor, he's sealing, he's making himself a threat. He's creating offense for himself just by sprinting and getting good seals. The guys are finding them, and that's big for us. We have to get him a touch, because was something that people I don't know if they see it or not, but he's actually a really good passer. So
like you said, just give him the ball inside, and maybe he does pass it, maybe he doesn't go and score, but being a threat is what we need from him, and that's what he's been doing so far.
So let's talk about these guards now, because you do have a lot of them, and I know you said earlier they come in late off of the football season, but just in this short time, what have you seen from Will, Ben, Eli? And maybe even some of the kids who have been around for the whole time. You guys have a lot of talented guards.
We do. We we have the twins, Ben and Will, Eli, Parker, who is a returning guard, who is a tremendous leader. Really appreciate what he's done and how he stepped up as a senior leader. We have Owen Kennedy, who is a younger guy, but he is committed. Owen has probably been the most consistent kid I've had since we got here. So the guard play I think is going to be good for quite a couple years at least. But having those guys, the Wills, the Bens, Eli, they just bring something different. Different speed. Someone we really haven't talked much about is Carson Grace. Him coming over to our team, giving us that toughness, and he's a winner, and he's running the show right now. He's going to have a big season as well, but he's getting downhill. He's creating offense for other guys, and then I think it makes Will and Ben's job a little easier, where they just have to pick in spots. They don't have to handle the ball and create so much for us, but they have guys now that can help create for them as well. So I'm excited to see what our guards can do. I think we're going to have a pretty good team, complete team this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Carson's one of those. So it's almost got to be like opening a gift on Christmas morning that you didn't know you're getting, because Carson didn't play last year. He didn't play basketball last year, and I know he was still, even towards the end of football season, I think he was still kind of on the fence of yes, no. Yep. It's like I said, it's got to be like opening that unexpected gift on Christmas morning, getting a kid like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Carson spent some time with us in the summer. He's really interested, but I couldn't hold my hat on that because I know that he has a football season and he's really good at football. So I was expecting, the Cody Wolves, the Carson Grays, the Blake Wagners, you want those guys to be a part of your team because they did play before and they're top athletes, really, really good athletes. So who knew, who actually come? I know those guys would be getting recruited to play at the next level. So I couldn't, count on it, but I was praying and hoping that those guys would come out, and Carson did. And, he's been a tremendous guy for our team, and then actually, athlete as well. He's running the show, and it has been a great surprise for us. So
what are the hopes? What are the expectations? What do you think this season brings for us?
My expectation is for us to win the NBC.
Okay, let's do it. I'm
going right in, and I want to have that immediate impact on the league, on the community. So I believe that we have enough talent to get there. It's meshing all of our guys now. We only have a month. So tryouts is November 1st. We got our football guys November 3rd, and then our first game is November 30th. So I'm not expecting us to peak at game one, but I do expect us to peak, and be able to come out with hopefully an NBC championship.
The NBC is a sneaky good league.
Yes.
I mean, I was thinking about it leading up to our conversation, just about some of the players. You've got the Plants kid at Genoa just jumps to mind.
Yep.
I mean, those are – it's a really good conference, isn't it?
It is. So I've spent a lot of time watching film over these last few months on, just looking at the coaches, the way that they coach, looking at, some of the strategies, offense, defense that they run. And then with that, some of the guys that are in the league that are really good. Like Plants, you said, he's a top level kid in the area. So, I'm already thinking about how we can stop him because he is that good. They'll probably be picked to win the league because of his talent and some guys that he has around him. But the league is strong, but I think we have the athletes to compete.
The rapid fire portion of the show. It's where I give you a question and you just give me the first thing that jumps to your mind.
Cool.
Nothing too difficult. I'm not smart enough to have difficult questions. So, are you a summer guy or a winter guy? Hot or cold?
Summer for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I like being outside. I like to golf. It's kind of how I get away from basketball. So that's my sport that I kind of replace with basketball because I'm not playing, especially at a high level. I'm not good at it, but but I'm getting there. I'm trying. So I would definitely choose summer. We do a lot of camping. My fiance and I do a lot of camping and just being out and about. I really enjoy the summertime.
So where's your favorite golf course? Where's your course?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I like playing everywhere.
Okay.
I just like the challenge. It's you against you. I mean, and it's no team, it's no one else to rely on. So when you're upset, you can't be upset with anyone but yourself. So I mean, I play all around Heather Downs, Country Club. I play South Toledo, Ottawa Hill, or Ottawa Park. Yeah. I mean, anywhere. I play a lot with my cousin. We kind of got into it together after sports, and we were young adults. So we play wherever we can go, especially if they have a deal.
Golf is expensive anymore.
Really expensive.
Yeah.
Really expensive.
Yeah, it's gotten very expensive. We are in the middle of holiday season.
Okay.
Halloween was a few weeks ago. Thanksgiving's coming up. Christmas is coming up. New Year's. What is your favorite holiday and why?
Favorite, I would say, is Christmas, with Thanksgiving being very, very close second. Mm-hmm. I'm just a family-oriented guy, so I love being around family. But Christmas, I'm a giver, so I like to see smiles on everyone else's face. So being able to get our kids their gifts, being able to get our family the gifts, and just coming together, sharing food, a lot of basketball and football to watch. And it's kind of like your day away from everything else. The sports, the work, and just life. You just have each other, have your family, and that's what I enjoy most about it.
So as a basketball guy, though, like Thanksgiving and Christmas are right in basketball season.
Yes.
So are you able to take that time away, or are you still kind of working still at the same time?
That's a great question. I guess it depends on where we are in the season as far as what we have coming up. So this year, at our parent meeting, I had to break the news that we were going to practice on Thanksgiving this year. So, I don't know how everyone felt about it, but just being a coach that I am, I love being prepared. And we, obviously Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, and we play our first game on November 30th, which is that Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to practice, take a day off, practice, and then now we have a game. So, this Thanksgiving I may be working a little bit, just getting prepared for that first game, because it's going to be a huge night for us. So, Christmas, I think I'll have some time to just sit back and relax, but Thanksgiving I'll be working a little bit.
All right. What's the one movie when it comes on the TV, or you maybe have it? I mean, you're a young guy, so you probably don't even know what the hell DVDs are. But what's that one movie that is just like TJ's favorite? That is your movie.
Well, I am older than what I look.
Okay.
So,
well, you got a baby face.
Yes,
so there you go.
I get it all the time. But I actually used to watch as a kid on VHS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
VHS. I used to love Santa Claus and Flubber as a kid, but to answer your question, I would say probably Remember the Titans is really, really up there for me. And then I'm a comedy guy, so I enjoy Step Brothers. That's probably my favorite. A lot of my friends and I, we quote that movie like the back of our hands. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites.
That is a very, very quotable movie. Yeah. I'm a gigantic Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah, I love Will Ferrell. Yep, the Talladega Nights and the Semi-Pro. Yeah, I can watch Will Ferrell all day.
Absolutely. All right, this one is very important to me.
Okay.
And you're a Toledo guy, so I don't know how this is going to go. I know the other coaches and their allegiances, so I strategically pop it in there. But I'm genuinely curious with you.
Okay.
Ohio State or Michigan?
Oh, it's not a question. Ohio State all day long. I'm a Buckeye for life.
There we go.
The Buckeye for life, yes. And I was kind of surprised how many Michigan guys we have around here. But,
I know.
I'm glad that I got here after they had their run, because it's over.
It's got to be over, man.
Over.
It's got to be over.
Yes, we're back now.
So I grew up in Columbus, and when we first moved up here, I was sharing some stuff from the high school on Facebook and stuff, and some of my friends down in Columbus were like, can't you guys change that logo?
I wish.
Right? That big block M.
Yeah.
I feel bad with it driving around it on the back of my car. I want everybody to know it says Maumee,
yes,
not the other one.
Absolutely, and that's why we are using the Panther head for most of our gear. That's how deep our alliance with Ohio State is. So that M is confusing for a lot of people. Even coaching gear, Coach Ozier, LJ at Game 1, they were able to supply me with some gear when I got the job, and I'm like, what is this M? It looks good, but I don't like it.
I agree. All right. Well, TJ, thank you so much for joining me. It was fantastic getting to know you a little bit more, Absolutely. And I can't wait to watch this season come around and watch this team just grow and succeed underneath you. So Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Everybody come out November 30th. It's going to be a fun night. And thank you for doing this. I always listen to your podcast and really good insight to coaches and students in the area, student athletes in the area. I think this is an awesome thing you're doing for Maumee. So thank you again.
All right. I'll get you that $20 after we stop. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks again to Coach Gillespie for joining me on the podcast. It might sound crazy for a program that hasn't had a winning record in a dozen years, but I'm going to tell you what. Count out the Panthers at your own risk. Gillespie will prove to be another great young head coaching hire for Maumee, and he'll have these boys playing some great basketball. Make sure you get out and catch a few games. You're not going to be sorry. The Maumee Athletic Boosters meet the first Wednesday of each month at 7 p.m. in the high school Learning Commons. If you're interested in supporting the student athletes at both Maumee High School and Maumee Middle School, you should consider getting involved. The next meeting is on Wednesday, December the 4th. Can't wait to see you there. You've reached the end of another episode of Inside Maumee Athletics. We're lucky to have our supporters, the Maumee Athletic Boosters, the Mirror newspaper, and Pride of the Panthers photographers. If you'd like to get in contact with the podcast, email us at insidemaumeeathletics@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Inside Maumee Athletics on Facebook and YouTube, and at Inside Maumee ATH on Twitter. Thanks for listening.